I have these 64 challenges you have to pass before you can enter the friendship realm. Yes. And then another 64 until you can enter the relationship realm. Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh man, oh man.
I think my hay fever's playing up again.
Oh, fun times.
It's brilliant. Welcome to episode 4. 3. 3.
3.
3.
We can count.
Yes. We're very good at that.
1 plus 2 is 5. Yes.
Yes.
Welcome to episode 5.
Yes, welcome to episode 3.
So yeah, coffee catch-up time.
Yes, coffee catch-up.
And I actually have an interesting thing to say this time.
Yay.
Again, not probably on the level of bird gifted.
Yes.
But still, random text out of the blue today. So,
Ta-da!
yes, random text. So you know how you sometimes end up messaging people and then you message them and like you're maybe like someone you're interested in, but then they don't message back and you're like, oh, okay, that's where we are.
Yeah.
Cool. 2 months later, this guy messaged me back being like, hey, how's things? Sorry that I didn't message in a while. Like, life got in the way. Sorry.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to know that you exist somewhere in that person's mind that, like, 2 months, like, has passed, and they're like, do you remember that one person? They were pretty decent. Let me message them.
I would love to know, like, what sparked it.
Yes.
What, like, was it a conversation with someone, or was it just, like, scrolling through his phone, or whatever? Like, I would love to know what made him go, I'm gonna message her again.
A person gifted him a crow. And it was just psychic.
The crow was like, text Rachel.
Like, yes, using its, like, brain powers.
Brain powers. I
was gonna say telepathy, but it's not the right one.
Yeah.
Is it? No, because
you're thinking telepathy is the one with mind, but telekinesis is the one that's moving things.
So I was correct.
And then you weren't.
I wasn't. My coffee catch-up is I'm very tired. Work has been work. Nothing exciting has happened in my life because my life is very boring. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, work, man. Tourist season.
Tourist season.
Okay, I need to explain. We live in Inverness. Inverness has like less than 50,000 people in it. Mm-hmm. I say we could probably get double that in tourists every day.
Yeah. I work in a big company. That again, I'm not gonna mention, and it sells goods. Yes, and we have this big fucking door. Like, it's huge, and that's where you come in, and that's where you leave, right? You can't miss it because you walk into it when you walk into the shop, right? Now, for some reason, tourists have this great mind where they're like, you know what? Let's not leave through that massive fucking hole in the wall. Let's leave through a tiny little door that's alarmed and has a green man right above it. Because obviously that's the exit. Fucking newsflash, it's the fire exit. So the amount of times I hear the fire alarm go off is unholy. And then every other person is like, spook, what's happening? Are we gonna die? And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm not even phased, like, at this point.
There could be a real fire and you would just sit there and burn because you're like, I'm sure it's just that tourist that's fucking opened the door. Yeah.
I would see it coming to me and be like, still a tourist. Like, that's it.
No, yeah, I work at a hotel. Again, probably should stay unnamed.
Yeah.
But, oh man. Like, I would say like 50% of the people who come through the door are okay. Or are lovely. Like, on that spectrum. But 50%, and if you are these people, I want you to know that you're an awful human being. 50% of the people who I see on a daily basis are some of the most demanding, entitled sons of bitches I've ever met in my life. And they act like any slight thing that goes wrong is my fault.
Yes.
Like, oh no, there's no parking spaces. Oh yes, let me just pull one out of my ass and just lay the tarmac for you. There you go. Do you want, just park on me. Or how about this? I'll just tarmac over the river right outside the hotel and that's where you can park your car. I'm sorry, that is the number one question I get asked in a day. Sorry, there's no parking. Where do I park my car? And most of the time it's okay. because you tell them, they're like, oh cool, thank you for letting me know. But there's always those people who are like, you expect me to have to walk from where I park my car to the hotel? Excuse me?
It's such an inconvenience.
What? It's like, I literally, like, the car park that I tell them to park in is like 3 to 5 minute walk back to the hotel, and some of them at, like I'm saying, first you have to do a 26-mile, like, marathon level hike back over the Cairngorms.
And then you swim in the Black Sea. Get to the Black Sea first.
Yeah, so you have to take a plane, and then, while carrying your suitcase. Like, the most inhumane thing. And then, they got so angry, and you sit there and you're like, what do you expect me to do? Like, I can't magically make more parking spaces appear closer to the hotel. There's, like, other things in the way, like the rest of the city. Yeah. Or the other one is, like, people get really, really annoyed when they have to queue. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but, like, I can't do anything about the queue. Yeah, no. I can work my way through the queue as well as I can, but, like, sorry, you came at a time that it was busy.
Yeah, it's not your fault. You know what I hate a lot? Mm-hmm. People throwing money at me. Now, honey, I am no stripper. I ain't gonna put this in my thong on my bra. So just fucking hand it into my open hand that is waiting to claim the money. Don't just fucking flick the wrist in my face. Like, it is common courtesy. Just fucking do it. It'll make my life easier. Or I had a person.
A person?
That he was buying a lot of washing powder. Like, he was buying 16 boxes total.
Was it, like, on sale? Is he in a maths textbook?
I think so. And he was like, okay, so, like, and they came in big packs of 4, like, just because we haven't opened them up yet. So he was like, and then he put one of them down. He was like, okay, so I have 16 total, and I want to put half through now, and then the other half later. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine. So I put 8 through, and I was like, boom, there you go, that's £40. And he just went, no. I was like, oh fuck. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I was like, pardon? Because I couldn't be like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, it's 20. And I was like, it's coming up as 40. I put in 8, you know. And he's like, well, no, you're not. Like, are you listening to me right now? And I was like, right. And he was like, listen, 5, like, he pointed to each individual box of washing up powder, went 5, 5, 5, 5. That's what, 20? I was like, yes, but that is 4. You asked for 2. There's 16 total, half, like, in this transaction, half in the other. So, you know, that means 40. He was like, are you listening to me right now? Like, are you stupid? And at this point, I just pressed the buzzer, waiting for my manager to come over, because I'm like, I'm not having any of this. And I was about to explode. I was having a bad day as it was, and I was like, anybody who's gonna test me tonight is gonna die. And, like, I just see Alistair walking over, and this guy is still going mental. He was like, are you listening to me? I was like, no, sir, are you listening to me? Look, there is 5, like, there are £5 each, yes? And he was like, yes. Okay, brilliant. So, you have 16 in total, correct? And he was like, yeah. So half of that is 8, yes? So he was like, yeah. 8 times 5, that's 40. And he was like, nope. And then he just stopped, and Alistair was already there, waiting to back me up on this. And the customer just went, oh, I'm so sorry. And I just went quiet. I just put it through, and he was like, I'm sorry, I was thinking wrong. And then I was like, okay, so that's £40. Does that sound about right now? And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, having none of it. I was like, this does not explain. Like, this is simple maths that the till does for me. So even if I was thick as shit, like,
and you can add 5 8 times, yeah,
exactly, like, the till does it for me.
Oh my god,
I was furious.
Yeah, well, it's like, I had a similar sort of interaction, where there was a bit of a miscommunication, and basically this guy, he had 3 rooms booked, and he wanted to pay for all 3, but they weren't all ready, so we can't check you into rooms that aren't ready, because he arrived slightly early, so he, like, paid for his room, and then he said to my colleague, oh, can I pay for the other 2 when they arrive? My colleague forgot to pass that on to me, so when they arrived, I took payment for them, they came in late, and they're like, can you refund us, and then he can pay for the rooms. And I was like, yes, that is no problem, we can do that. And I was like, but you paid for them together when you arrived. But now, because they were part of the same reservation, but now that you have checked in, you have become individual rooms, and I can't refund it together. I can refund each room, so we'll have to do 2 lots of the same transaction, basically. And the 2 guys, so it was 2 guys and this woman, and the 2 guys were like, makes perfect sense. So I started explaining it, and I was like, okay, so that's like 150 quid for your room and your breakfast refunded, and then the other guy was going to pay it. And I could just see the woman look at me, and she had that look of like, and she's like, dear, can you just check the original transaction? Because we had the receipt for the original transaction. And I was like, oh, yeah, it won't be the same amount because we have to do it in 2 halves. So he paid £300 the first time, but he'll be paying £150 twice, or we'll be refunding 150 twice. Yeah. The second time, she was like, okay, but can I still see the receipt? And she spent like 5 minutes. And I could see her not understanding, and the 2 guys were like, no, it makes sense. She's like, yes, but it doesn't add up to the original amount.
Yes, it does! Oh.
And then eventually, I sat and I was like, I'm taking this patronizingly slow, like, he paid for 2 rooms at the same time last time, but I can't refund them both at the same time because of the way the system works. So I have to refund 1 room at a time. He paid £300, so he'll be getting £150 twice back. And she's like, oh, but the rooms weren't that. I was like, yes, but there's also the breakfast, because that's also being refunded. And then I kind of saw the moment that it clicked. She went, okay, I'm just going to go now and leave you with these 2 because I've been causing problems. And I was like, oh my god, thank you. But
at least she wasn't being a dick about it though. Like, if someone's just being silly, I understand. I've done that before.
Yeah, and like, oh, I just wanted, like, I remember once actually with my dad, like, I heard like them scan something twice by mistake. I was like, but I was a child and I didn't want to bring it up, so we went into the car. I was like, Dad, I think they scanned that twice. And he's like, what? And we looked and it was there, and he went back and he was like, my child just pointed out to me. And I was just sitting there like,
my child pointed out your flaw. Like, shit.
And then they were just like, I was just one of those kids, man. I just was. I couldn't. I
just knew.
Also, like,
you know what? Speaking of that, I had a lady today with a wee girl. And, like, they were both rushing because they were trying to get, like, cooked dinner and stuff like that. And I put everything through. And then, like, so the receipt was just printing. And then the kid was, the kid turns to his mum, like, and is like, Mum, your club card? And I was like, that's my question. Like, I should have asked that. And she was like, oh, she's keeping me right. And I was like, okay. But thank God at Tills we can just, like, scan the barcode on the thing and then get the club card.
And it's fine,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, it takes, like, 2 seconds. So I was like, oh, thank God. But I was like, why do you care about her, like, club card points?
maybe they're saving up air miles to take him on holiday.
Maybe.
And he's like, get those air miles, Mom.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Homage to Jenna Marbles.
Yeah.
Shout out. If you ever watch this.
Wow, that So Polina's got big ambitions for this.
I have very big ambitions. Dream big. Fuck yeah.
I want that on a t-shirt.
Dream big, fuck yeah. We have 3 t-shirt ideas.
What were the other ones?
The other one was one of just my face.
Yes,
because
I remember
that's
that.
Narcissism. And there was one for you.
About narcissism. Was
yes, it was, oh no! It's in the other video. Well, audio.
Check the tapes.
Check the, yeah. But it was a really funny phrase that you said.
Something
about not being narcissistic. But, like, that's why it was so funny, because it was super narcissistic.
Yes. About being really modest.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
Today's topic.
Yes.
Kind of bounces off from the first part of this coffee catch-up.
Yes.
Remember that?
That.
But, yes, the topic today is flirting.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm not good at that.
Moth! Where did it go?
Grafting. The moth is courting with you.
Where is it?
It's
Get off of me! You haven't even bought me a drink yet!
It's beautiful.
Don't go into the light.
An interspecies love.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most action I've had in a while.
No, it's same. Like you, like your experience. That's the most action I've had. We're very single.
Oh, darkness, my old friend.
But yes, flirting. And what I really want to bring up, and this is to you and open to the floor, things that are things. That will make sense in a second. But, like, you know how there's, like, when people interact, there's just things, right? And they can mean other things. Like, they have implications.
Yes.
So, for example, if, like, you were speaking to a person with a penis and they, like, touched your arm, that's a thing, right?
Yes.
But is it really a thing? That's what I want to get into. Those things.
Yeah, yeah. So, my brain does a lot of this because, like, I doubt everything and everyone and my entire existence. And so, there'll be times where I'm accidentally just... That's not a thing, Luna. Me touching your knee there by mistake was not a thing. I'll just lay that out there.
I think it was. Anyway.
But yeah, like... So, like, there's times where I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that was a thing, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, but what if? Like,
what if it wasn't a thing?
And then I don't want to assume it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then look like an idiot.
Yeah.
But then also, if I'm assuming it's not a thing, and then it was a thing, and then I miss it, and they're waiting for me to, like, acknowledge the thing.
Yeah.
Oh. And then they don't get that, so they shut it down, and you're like, it is literally the worst.
It's when you shut it down, and then you realise that was a thing, but they've given up, and you're like, fuck! Because, like, you can't just be like,
oh, by the way...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm interested. It's like, it's just, the moment is gone. Yeah. It has fled, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have that on, like, a planetary scale, where, no, seriously, my love life is non-existent, technically, right?
Technically?
No, listen. This makes sense. I somehow managed to achieve the groundwork for a possible thing. So I will be speaking to a person, and I am just like you, where I doubt everything. So they have to be, like, super obvious about anything for me to be like, but are you sure? Like, is that a direction you want to go in? I'm like, no commitment or anything like that. Just like, maybe, like,
do you view me in, like, you find me as an attractive being? Yes. Or is it just that you find me fun? Yeah. Like, as a friend?
Exactly. And, hey, honesty is best policy. Just tell me what up, and I'll be cool with it. That makes me sound really desperate.
Yes, you dictate my life, I just want affection!
That's not what I meant. But yes, so I will get to that basis and have a nice conversation. Mm-hmm. And I have heard somewhere in the realms of the world that a woman making a move is attractive. Now, that's fucking terrifying. Yeah. But I've started doing that in my life because taking risks is important. And...
horrifying.
Oh my god. And, like, the fact is, every time I grow a set of balls and I'm like, hey, do you want to maybe, like, go out for a drink sometime? Or, like, you know, I probably word it a little bit better because I have time to think about typing a thing and then saying, like, yeah. And not all the time, but usually they're like, yeah, that sounds good. And then a phrase, which I now know means go fuck yourself, comes up. And it's like, oh yeah, I don't know my shifts for next week, but I'll message you with them and then we can figure something out. And then I never hear from them again.
Oh my god.
How is that a thing? And, like, the conversation will be going well. And also, if you don't want to go, say no. Like, just be like, oh, no, like, that's, like, not a thing that I'm into, or, like, I don't see this as that kind of a thing. I'd be like, oh, right, cool, yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. Have a good life.
Do you know what? As much as it sucks, like, getting that sort of message of, like, our brains are in different lines right now.
Yeah.
It is way better than getting nothing.
Yeah, you're completely ghosted.
Because, like, because then you sit there and you're like, did they just forget? Am I forgettable? Yeah. Like, or did, like,
I
because this, or I was like, sometimes I'm really bad at replying to messages, and then it gets to the point where it's like, it's been so long, that now it's weird if I message back.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something, like, maybe it's innocent, or maybe it is just like,
I don't think it's innocent.
Couldn't be bothered.
Maybe, no.
Like, couldn't be bothered explaining why I didn't want to go on a date with them, so I just didn't reply.
Yeah, I tried to defend those people. No, that wasn't innocent. It's like...
No, but I'm not necessarily in these specific circumstances.
Yes, but in general, that can happen. I completely get that. I'm pretty sure I've been on that boat.
Yeah, I definitely have. There's definitely been someone I've been messaging, and then, like, they sent like a one-word reply.
Oh, yeah. No, but fuck you. Like, I'm not gonna reply. If it's, like, a conversation, like, hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. You? Yeah, I'm good. What have you been up to? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's just that. I'm like, fucking go away. I need something to engage my brain.
Yeah.
Like, even
or
fucking
just
talk about a random thing.
Oh, I've decided, my frame of mind in this now is like,
Yeah.
fuck the long build-up conversations and just ask me on a date.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it's 3 messages in.
Yeah.
Just ask. Because,
Out
like,
of the blue. Like, fucking open with that.
yeah? Because, do you know what?
Respect.
It's like, messaging someone, you never get a real sense for them if you've never met them in person. Like, different if you've met them in person.
Yeah.
But when you're just messaging someone, you're like,
yeah.
Like, you could be saying this way or that way, and I don't know. So then there's all, like, you're doubting everything, or you're overthinking what you reply rather than just replying naturally, or, like, you would reply in a certain way, and then you're like, oh, but, like, will they get that tone across? Yeah. All those, like, whereas, like, just go on a date, and it can be a really bad date, or it could be like, oh, okay, maybe I want to do this again.
Yeah, and that's completely
And then
okay.
you know, and then you don't spend all those weeks. Like, sometimes you spend, like, weeks messaging someone, and it never goes anywhere.
That's my entire life.
I'm like, but that's normally what happens with me, is, like, I end up messaging someone, and, like, I think it's, like, neither of us gets the balls to just be like, let's go and do a thing.
No, and then, as you said, you don't get a feel for the person. Like...
Yeah, and then it gets to the point where it's like, oh my god, we've been messaging for so long, like, how do we even, like...
Yeah, like, what do we even talk about when we see each other? Because, like, that's the cool thing about not knowing somebody when you go meet them face to face. Because then you get to, like, you just get to know things, and it's really cool. But, like, you've exhausted probably most conversation topics if you've been... like, messaging for a while, so you're like, so about that thing that you told me, like, 3 months ago, how was that?
Yeah, or, like, you know, it's, I think, I'm, like, 50-50 on that, of, like, if you message someone a lot, but you've never really met them, and you've only messaged them, I think that's tough, because, like, you don't know where to begin, other than the things you've been talking about, but if you know someone a little bit, even, and you've messaged them like that, I feel like that's
a bit different. But you know something about that, actually, with just messaging and not meeting them in person, it's so weird because you don't know each other, but you do know each other. Yeah. So it's that awkward, like, I don't know where any of the boundaries are right now, or how, like, it's weird.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely one of those people who, like, my interactions with other human beings are better face to face.
Yes.
In the initial stages of any friendship/relationship.
Yeah.
Once I know someone very well, like, because I can hear what they're saying, you know, like, when they message me, I read it as them. Even if I've only met them a few times, I can read it as them. I can hear their voice.
Yeah.
Or, like, how they would say
wanky.
it. I can hear their voice. Or, like, I can hear how they would say it. You know, it's like... And I think that's kind of how it makes me understand. It's like, I can imagine, like, when you message me, I can hear how you say it.
Yes, same.
And then it's, like, way easier to reply. And I don't worry that, like, you're not going to get that I'm being a sarcastic asshole, because that's all I ever am. So it's like, you just assume. Yeah. And then if I was being genuine, it's like, oh.
It's like, oh, that's fucking weird. Are you okay?
Yeah, what's going on, Rachel?
Steering back to the topic of things that are things or are not things, this has been brought up by a friend that came and sat? No, they didn't just sit at ours. They stayed at ours.
They just came and
sat, and that they didn't fucking leave. No, I'm joking.
It's me.
No, but she came to stay, and then she was telling us about, like, how she went out for drinks, and there was this guy, and they were sitting next to each other in a booth, right? And there's, like, other people there, but they were sitting next to each other, and their thighs touched. Now, like, you know when you sit next, because, I mean, to me, that is a thing anyway. Because if you sit, like, next to a person...
You're aware of where they are.
Yeah, you're completely aware. And especially, like, you will feel your leg touch their leg, so...
You'd move it away.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, you know, let me not touch you. But, like, if you leave it, that's a thing, right?
But then it's like... But maybe that's just the way that we think, and they don't think that way.
Exactly! This is so difficult! Like, I hate human interaction. It's way too complicated.
But I think this is the thing, like, it's a thing if they're interested in it being a thing. And if they're not, then it's not a thing. And then it's like, how do I know?
Yeah! What are the answers?
I think as well, it's like, I think my go-to assumption is that, no, it's not a thing. Mm-hmm. Because not anytime, But, like, the majority of the time that I've assumed that it is a thing, I've been wrong.
Yes.
Yes. And then that's been fun. So, like, yeah, I assume that it's not. And then people will say, oh, like, that person was flirting with you. And then I'm like, no, they weren't. Like, no, yeah. Maybe you say they were, but, like, no, they weren't. Yeah. They weren't in my head. So, like, no,
so they weren't.
And then if you're telling me that they were and I just fucked that up, then that's cool too. So, like, cool. Fun.
I'm just gonna think it's not a thing because I didn't make it a thing. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, like, flirting. This is where flirting becomes hard. It's because, like, how do I, like, I just, nah.
How do you say you're interested without saying you're interested?
Yeah, do you know what? This comes down, psychoanalyzing myself here, to, like, being afraid of being vulnerable.
Oh my god.
So, like, hey, I'm showing you that I have an interest in you. Now that I've given you that, you can crush me.
Power, yes. Because, like, I don't trust people. Like, I just don't. And it takes a lot for me to trust a person. Especially when it comes to, like, romantic interests or possibilities. And I don't really, like, show my vulnerable side.
No.
At all. So, most of the time, I come across like a bitch. And it's, like, partially meant, but partially not. Like, I don't mean for you to think I'm a dick. It's just that I will be until you... I'm gonna sound like such a bitch. I will be a bitch until you prove to me that you're worth my time.
But no, I know what you mean.
Like, not in a horrible way.
Not in like a... I have these 64 challenges you have to pass before you can enter the friendship realm. Yes. And then another 64 until you can enter the relationship realm.
Yeah, it's not like that. I'm just like, I'm an old soul. I just can't be fucked with this, like, I sound really old. Yeah, like, games and, like, fuck boys and, like, I just, like, if you're down to be a nice person, I'm down to have you as a nice person. And I'm down to be nice back, but, like, don't play games with me.
Yeah.
Because if I find out that you've been playing games with me, I will play you better and ruin your life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think for me it's a bit of, like, a different story if we're both, like, not really sure what this is. Yeah. So, like, we'll just see where this goes. And there's no, like, oh, this is heading towards a relationship, or, oh, this is definitely just going to be us just having fun. Yeah. And, like, I'm okay with it being a bit of a question mark if we're both on the same page, and I know we're both on the same page. But, like, because, you're never going to know straight away.
No.
I'm okay with that. But, like, the idea of someone being, like, or, like, not quite lying, but almost lying, or, like, what they want is they just want to, like, have fun and, like, sleep around, but they're pretending to you, like, that's not what they want, and then you're like,
yeah. Now flashbacks.
But yeah, like, this is the thing, people are really shit, and that's why flirting is annoying, because you're like, you could be someone who, me flirting with you, you're then gonna laugh at. I think that's my, like, fear. That is my worst fear, is that if I go up to a guy, let's say in a bar, I go up to him and I go, can I get your number? My, like, what flashes through every time I have a thought of doing anything like that is them turning around, and not even just laughing actually, but turning around going, why would I want your number?
Yeah, I have the same thing, and I never used to have that until high school, because kids are cunts, right?
And were you the one that someone would come up and ask you out as a joke?
Yes. Yeah. I was that girl. And that actually happened. Yeah. And then I walked into class, because it was on a weekend, and I walked into class, and the two fucking finger marks.
I was gonna say finger guns.
Finger guns. No.
Quotation marks.
Yes. The cool people came up to me, and they were like, "Oh my god, are you going out with this person?" And thank God I'm a smart child, and I was. I'm not a child. But, like, I picked up on that doesn't seem right, so I was like, no. And I mean, it was the worst lie of, like, all time. And they were like, oh, we thought you were. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, and that has stuck with me. And that will never in my life go away. And, like, I don't think those people realize how much of a fucking impact they've had on my life, because they ruined my life, essentially. Like, not, like, to be dramatic, but, like a part of my life. Yeah. Like, I will never be fully comfortable.
Oh, God.
I used to be. Yeah, my PS4. But, like, I used to be completely confident. I would walk up and get rejected. I'd be like, you know what? That's fine. See you later. And, like, and now, I don't even want to try.
Yeah. No, I have, like, two kind of stories of that of high school. Like, I remember someone coming up and asking me out, and, like, their friend, like, them kind of chuckling as they did it, and their friends behind them laughing. So it wasn't even, like, I believe they were actually asking me out. I think they thought they'd managed to convince me, though, so I was like, no. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, yeah, like, playing it cool, playing hard to get, I like it, sort of thing. And I was like, yeah, and they're all and it's like, you're not even being subtle about it, and it's like, you think that it's, like, the idea of fancying me is funny.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was the person that you thought would be the most humiliating or funny to ask out. Like, that's...
Like, it's not even like, oh, no, that's possible. It's just, like, someone dating you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other time was there was this guy, and he was popular. Yeah. And, like, I can't remember how, but I ended up with his number. We messaged, like, pretty constantly for, like, a week.
Uh-huh.
Like, hundreds of message sort of things.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? And then his friend must have got his phone, or maybe it was his friend the entire time.
Yeah.
And basically was like, why would he be interested in you? And then what was really fun was, like, I obviously didn't reply to that because I'm like,
obviously, yeah.
Cool. But then he never messaged back again. Like, he never said anything. So either he was, like, too much of a chicken to be like, sorry.
Yeah.
Or, like, yeah, it just was never real. And then I'm like, cool, that was, like, a week of my, like, emotional investment just destroyed. And it's things like that. It's like, and it's those are little things where you're like, cool, yeah. Like,
exactly. Like, of course.
I'm not attractive.
Yeah. In any way. That's a thing. This is going way deep.
Yeah, this is not what we planned for this.
Not flirting. But, yeah, no, that's, like, a thing that happened to me in my life. Because growing up, I wasn't a pretty kid, and I was like, you know what? I've accepted that, that's fine. So I actively started working on my personality. Because I was like, if I'm gonna trap a boy into, like, wanting me in any way, it's gonna have to be me for me.
Yeah.
So, actually, like, I'm thankful for that, because I think I'm fucking great, right? Narcissism. Yeah. But yeah, like, I feel like I'm a pretty cool person. Like, I'm happy with who I am as a human being. But then, and again, I'm gonna sound big-headed, it's not like I'm ugly now, right? Like, I am a decent human being.
You glowed up.
I glowed the fuck up. And now, nobody cares about my personality. Like, I could be saying the funniest thing, or I could be not cracking a single joke, and they'd be like, haha, yeah, cool, and then just staring at my boobs. And it's like, really... and it just fucking bothers me. It's like, I understand that you might be bamboozled by the fact that I have breasts like any other fucking female in the world. Right.
Wait.
Females have boobs.
Game changer.
Right? I mean, there's nothing more attractive than 2 sacks of fat on the chest. Anyway, so it just bothers me because my personality is just going to waste at this point, and I'm like, it's like, I'm pretty cool, but you're missing out on that, so that's your fault, not mine.
Yeah, well, see, I kind of have a similar thing where I'm like, I'm pretty happy with who I am as a human being, and it's like taken a while to get to a point of being like, I am happy with who I am as a human being. I obviously am not like perfected form. I am not my final evolution. But
you're not final evolution.
Stop. But anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, but like, you know, so I'm content and I will keep working on myself, but like, yeah. Like, I think I'm a decent human being.
Yeah.
But thinking that and thinking, am I attracted to the opposite sex?
Yeah.
They don't link in my mind. So I am content with who I am, but it doesn't mean that I think that I'm attractive to the opposite sex.
Yes.
I think it's a lot of like, so I think we previously have mentioned our drunk selves. So
yes.
Cherry is mine. Mm-hmm. And Cherry is attracted to the other sex, which is really bizarre. But I think it's, I put out this vibe. It's like I was talking about, like,
sex aura.
Well, it's like, yeah, like, the number of times, and this is going to make me sound really bad, but the number of times where I've been in a club, and I have not said a single word to someone, and we've ended up making out.
That's great.
Like, and they've not even been with us or anything, like,
well, that's cool.
Yeah, just the number of times I can do that while I'm drunk.
Yeah.
it's crazy. And then I'm like, so that must mean I'm attractive. Like, one time I remember, like, I made eye contact with someone across the dance floor, and they walked all the way across the dance floor, and I hadn't even made, like, ooh eye contact. Or I didn't think I was making ooh eye contact. I just made eye contact once I was glancing around the room. Yeah. But, like, sober me. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Sober me, like, can't do that thing. And, like, maybe it is just, like, that confidence of, like...
I think so.
Accepting that you're, like, that someone might find you attractive, or, like, someone might want to talk to you, or all these things. But, like, it's, like, Yeah,
it's okay to be proud, and I think people don't realize that. Like, you get shamed for knowing that you're a catch. It's like, well, fucking excuse yourself.
It's this thing of,
sorry
like...
about it.
The balance of, like, confidence and cockiness.
Yeah. I'm definitely more on the cocky side when I'm drunk.
Okay, yes.
Olive is cocky.
But, like, you know...
Pun intended.
Confidence is, like... Yeah, is that, like... I'm here, I'm me, like, I'm not perfect, but I am me. And then there's, like, the arrogance of, like...
Hold your way down the hallway.
Yes. And then there's the arrogance of, like, I am the best thing that has hit planet Earth. And, like, yeah, those are two different things, but people assume, or, like, the idea of confidence has been, like, demonized into arrogance.
Yeah.
Of, like, you think you're a good person, you must think you're the best person.
Yeah, it's like, nah, I just think I'm pretty cool.
It's like, or, like, this whole, like, you can't be happy with who you are.
No, yes, you cannot be happy with who you are, because then, you're, like, antagonized. That's the right word? Villainized?
Antagonized?
Antagonized.
No, antagonized is, like, annoying someone, isn't it?
No?
Well, antagonist. I don't know.
Yeah, because the antagonist of something is the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
You are, demonized. Villainized. Antagonized.
Did we mention that we just finished our second year at university?
We're smart.
We can word super well.
English, easy.
Yep. Anyway.
I don't have an excuse. It's my first language. It's your second.
I know, but I don't have an excuse either, really. I've lived here for 14 years. That's a long-ass time.
Yeah, it is.
And I had to learn it better than you guys. Because it was my second language.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It definitely does.
Yeah.
You had to learn the rules, whereas we don't.
Yeah, like
we just absorb... Like, you absorb the rules rather than learning them. Like,
I had to sit down and
learn them.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. Very weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, like...
Thanks.
Flirting. But do you know what? Talking about this, and this is a great segue into something else I want to talk about. Talking about this, like, difference between confidence and arrogance and all this.
Yes.
It's like, so that whole, like, I'm confident in myself, but it doesn't mean I think I'm attracted to the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
Works really well when I'm being a wingman. Because I stop caring about whether or not they find me attractive, because it becomes all about how they find my friend. Yes. And therefore I will, or when it becomes a dare. That's, like, the two things.
Yeah.
Like, if someone dares me to do something, because I have the dare to fall back on, like,
you're
no bounds. Like, literally, someone could dare me to do almost anything and I would do it. Especially if I've had a drink in me,
I'm not that.
No, dares, man. Like, it didn't used to be like this, but now I'm like, like, fucking literally dare me to go suck that guy's dick and I would do it. Like, more just because, like...
I was expecting that.
More just because, like, you know, if he says, no thanks, I'm like, oh, it's cool, it's just a dare.
Lol, it's fine, but I would totally do it.
But yeah, anyway, so when it comes to wingmanning, I'm getting a look from Polina's flatmate that is very much like, I'm going to take advantage of this next time we're out drinking. I have maybe ruined my life.
But you have. That's stored in my bank, like.
But yeah, amazing story of wingmanning.
Yes.
Was when, and this is genius, it came to me in the moment.
So brilliant.
We were in the smoking area, and Paulina had early on in the night clocked a guy and gone, piece of that.
Fucking beautiful.
Yum.
Yeah.
Honey.
Come here.
Hell yeah. Anyway, so we're in the smoking area.
Suck your dick for a dare. Yeah, cool.
And she was like in the smoking bit. I don't smoke, she does. So we were standing there, and she's got her cigarette out, and she's getting her lighter out, and she's about to light her cigarette, and I noticed the guy come out, and I'm like, my drunken brain was working well enough to make the connection that if he was in the smoking area, either he smoked or someone he knew smoked. So I went, Paulina, put your lighter away. And she went, what? Paulina, put your lighter away. And this shows how good a friend Paulina is, because she didn't understand why I was asking her, but she put her lighter away. Still with the confused look on her face. Yep. And as he walked past us, I just went, excuse me, my friend forgot her lighter. Do you have one we can borrow? And he went, no, I don't, but my friend does. Brought us over to his friend group where we spent the rest of the night. And Paulina got with him.
Fuck yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
That sounds like I had sex with him. I didn't, but I got that.
You got the
sweet mouth to mouth
resuscitation. Yeah. Mm. Brought your sex life back to life.
That's exactly why I'm single. Mouth to mouth, me BB. Yes, that was a great example of wingman. We're really good wingman to each other because I have a story as well.
Yes.
I keep making that dun noise this episode, and I'm so sorry. It's just coming out. Anyway.
Delete yourself.
I wish I could. Drag myself into the trash can.
Well, yeah, put yourself in their cycle bin. I can restore myself later if I so wish, but right now,
I'll just be there,
bin.
Chilling. Yeah.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Yep. And we were at Fox's, which is the best place to go in Inverness, in my opinion. It's brilliant. And we were out, and then you were like, you know what? Yes, I want someone tonight. Do your job. And I was like, I'm so fucking excited for this. And we were looking around the room, and I was like, oh, have you picked anybody yet? And then you were like, no, that guy over there looks, quite dishy, and like he was dancing.
Yes,
with
that's exactly how drunken like that guy over there. That male human being. I would love me a piece of that. Send him over with a written proclamation.
That's a dare.
My accent's going to a different place.
That is a dare for you next time. Flirt with that accent and we're out. Fuck yeah. Anyway, yes. And I'm like, okay, cool. Not even, like, there isn't a pause. I just walk right over it. Like, confident as fuck. Just tap him on the shoulder. He's like 6'5". I'm 5'3". Like, so it was like reaching to Olympus. Like, hi, excuse me. Like, he probably thought I was 12. I'm about to, like, sell him Girl Scout cookies or something.
Which don't even exist in the UK.
And he turned around. He was like, oh, hi. I was like, hi, how are you? Just, like, making small talk. And we were talking, and I was like, so, you see, like, I was wondering, are you single? And he was like, and he was visibly confused by that. Like, he was like, yes. I was like, great. So, my friend over there, and, like, I just point you out, and you're, like, doing your moves. I was like, girl, you got this. Like, you knew exactly when to pull those moves, and your nice flowy skirt. And I was like, so, my friend over there, was mentioning you, like, earlier tonight. Lies. You just pointed her out.
Him.
That one. I was like, okay, she was mentioning you and, like, looking over her, and I was wondering if you maybe want to go over and, like, dance and, like, see if anything, sparks. And he was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go. And then, boom.
Yeah.
Pulling.
Yep, like, literally about 3 seconds after he came over.
It was brilliant.
I work fast.
High five. Fuck it. That was a good
high five! I was really worried it was going to be one of those pathetic ones. And you can hear it. You can... Yes. Yes. And it would have been so sad, but that was good. That was satisfying.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah.
Wingmanning is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's so much easier.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because, that's the thing. It removes... I'm not being vulnerable, and my friend's not being vulnerable. I just get to go over and be like, hey, you think she's hot?
Yeah.
Go there.
You want some fuck from her?
Free pass.
Green card, there you go. Woo, have fun. But, you know what? Going back to that whole thing of flirting and people lying about stuff, the amount of times that I was flirting with a guy and, like, it looked promising, and then the morning after, they would inform me they had a girlfriend, is fucking criminal.
No.
And then I feel like the bad guy, because I was like, oh, no, like, I would never dream of doing that to, well, I say that, but whenever I see a hot guy who has a girlfriend, my first response is, that's okay, that's just a challenge.
Like, an asshole.
I'm an asshole, baby.
So why don't you kill me?
Yeah, exactly. But, like, no, I don't think I would actually do that.
Yeah.
Like Olive questionable.
Yeah.
Olive might. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I had a similar experience. Like, I told you about this on, like,
Mhm.
New Year's. I had, like, a breakdown.
Yeah.
Fun New Year's for me. It's like, yeah, because it was me and my friend, and we were in a different city, and we went out, and, you know, we were at a hostel, and she got with the guy at the hostel, so she was sorted for her New Year pool, and I was like, okay, so we got to the club at, like, well, there was a guy who was walking with us, and I was like, this is it, this is him. We were chatting the whole way, and then, like, he realized he'd, like, forgotten his phone somewhere, or, like, lost it somewhere, so he just disappeared, and I was like, fuck, I was locked in, and now I've got to go find someone.
That's so annoying.
Because I was like, we're gonna be in a club, like, you can't be the only person not pulling someone and just, like, dancing still at midnight.
Me.
So, I'm like, you know, like, almost aggressively trying to find someone at this point. And I can't, do you know what, I was so drunk that I can't remember how I found this man, but I found this man, and we were pulling, and then, like, we went away, and we were having a great time, and then at one point he just turns around to me and goes, oh, by the way, I have a girlfriend. And I'm like,
you just wasted my time, like, why did you think I was talking
and then also, well, no, we'd been kissing.
Oh my god!
Like, for, like, half an hour we'd been, like, kissing.
That's a big no.
Her phone buzzed. Unprofessional.
Super unprofessional.
But yeah.
Always.
So, like, and I was like, and he was like, I mean, like, I want to break up with her, but she's, like, basically threatened to kill herself if I break up with her. And I was like, I mean, but, like, I don't want to, like, you've got that mess going on.
Yeah, like,
why have you now brought me into it? Like,
yeah.
I didn't, do you know what? This may be slightly controversial, but if a guy has a girlfriend.
Yes.
And you are the other woman.
Yes.
It's not your job to stop him from cheating.
Yeah. No, I support that. Are we bad people?
Like, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying, like, I don't think I could be the person to be the other woman. I think, like, because yeah, it's like, I don't want to be competing with another person. But
you're technically not if you're the other woman.
I mean, no.
She's competing with you.
But
I
like,
also need to pee.
Okay, go pee. I'll keep talking. But yeah, like, I just can't, like, I couldn't be that person, just because, like, yeah, I have enough problems with, like, being accepted anyway, and the thought of being, like, getting half of someone's affection, or, like, them not having being able to, like, leave someone to be with you, like, that's just too much of a mess for my brain to handle. But, like, if you aren't in that mental state, yeah, it's not your job to stop him from cheating, like, you know, yes, it takes two to cheat, but, like, at the end of the day, he's the one in the relationship. He should be saying no. Because it takes two. So, like, there's no such thing as women who steal men. Because the men have to choose to be stolen. So, you know, yeah, like, if a guy is really, really into you, a woman could literally be naked and in front of him, and he would say no thanks.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, yeah, you know, if you're the other woman, even if you know, I personally don't think there's, like, it's not your job to stop them from cheating.
No. And, like, this sounds horrible. I listen to, like, way too much Lana Del Rey. Because, like, being the other woman's kind of hot. It's like, oh, you're risking all of what you have just to get a piece of this. Like, there's a nice empowerment to that.
I mean, okay, yeah, as the other woman, but, like,
yeah. No, fuck being the woman. Like, that would suck ass.
Do you know what? For me, like, I just don't understand cheating.
No, neither do I. You should be fully, like, be okay with the person that you're with. Otherwise, don't be with them.
Yeah, if you're at the point where, like, you kiss someone or sleep with someone else, then you're not really that into it. Like, so, like, I think someone worded it, like, they were you have to, like, they were out of your brain for long enough
Yeah.
for you to be okay with that. Because if they were in your brain, you
Well,
wouldn't be, you, in theory, shouldn't be able to do it.
No.
But also, yeah, like, you know, why cheat when it's gonna hurt them? Like,
Yeah.
cheating on them is gonna hurt way more than breaking up with them.
Oh, yeah. Because it's just, the trust has been completely shattered. And for that person to then find out.
Yeah,
like,
because that's how most of the time it happens. Like, nobody ever, like, I have a lot more respect, like, so, people who cheat when they're really drunk, like, blackout drunk, don't remember cheating, sort of thing, or, like, wake up and, you know, it doesn't make it okay, but, like, people who do that and then go to their significant other and are like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Way more respect for that.
Understandable, not, like...
Yes.
We're back to that, yeah.
Yeah. Like, way more respect for that than someone who, even in the same situation, just would lie.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, like, and then it's up, because then what you're doing is, rather than saying, oh, they would break up with me if they knew, but I don't want them to break up with me, so they're not going to know. They're saying, it's your choice now. It's your choice whether you decide that you want to forgive me, or you want me to try and, like, work on forgiving you, or...
Yeah.
If you want to end things. Like, that's what happens. Like, if I were to cheat on someone, it's their choice whether the relationship continues.
Yeah. And also, if you forgive them, you can't hold it over their head.
No.
That's not a thing.
For any
Yeah, anything. If you argue and then you actively agree, you're like, okay, you know what, I forgive you, you fucking forgive them. Even if you don't feel okay with what happened still,
you can't bring it up again.
Yeah, you work it out yourself and try to get over that. And if you can't...
Yeah, exactly. You know, you hear about these people who bring up the same thing every time they argue, and it's like, but, like, that means that you're not okay with those things.
Exactly. So, like, either just sit down and talk it out for ages until you're feeling a little bit more okay with it.
Or you have to end things.
Yeah.
That's really fun topic to...
Yeah.
So, how are we doing on time, Felina? I saw you check.
We have 10 minutes.
Okay, so we should probably move on to news.
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 Nose.
That sounded like nose.
Oh. Nose. Right.
So yeah, what is the top story today? It's your turn to read it out.
Yes. It is...
That was...
Everyone's spazzing out.
I prematurely stopped.
Silent March ends Day of Remembrance.
Oh.
Yes.
What's the march for?
Thousands of people fall silent to march in memory of Grenfell victims.
Ah, okay. So, this might require a little bit of explanation. Explaining and explanation became one word there. If you're not from the UK. So, what happened was there was this council housing, and it went up, there was a fire, but because the government had kind of gone for the cheapest option when it came to insulation, the insulation was actually extremely flammable, and it caused the tower to go up.
Yeah.
So fast. Whereas, and, you know, if they'd spent maybe, like, a couple $100,000 extra.
It wasn't that big of a difference.
And they could have had fireproof insulation, and actually, the fire would have been, like a quarter, a tenth of the size and the problem. But, like, what was it, 250 people died in that or something? It was a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
And, you know, it sparked this whole conversation about whether the, like, poorer class, like, yeah, if their lives are worth less.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of anger directed at the government because...
Understandably so.
Yeah, like, they cut corners when they shouldn't have. Like, you know, it's different if you make that decision when you're building your own house, but, like, if you were building someone else's house and you use the cheapest of cheap materials to do it, kind of shitty.
Yeah. Also, you're a bit off. It's 72 men, women, and children.
Or maybe it was 250 people, like, injured.
Affected, yeah.
Yeah, like... But it was still a lot. That's still a lot of people.
You know, what was really lovely today, when the minute silence was happening, I was at work, and obviously I work in a supermarket, you know, very busy, and we were getting pretty busy, and then we had the announcement, and everybody just stopped. Like, and I thought, like, I've written out a little, like, thing on a receipt saying how there is like minute silence in place, so I won't be serving. I will serve you right after. And I said, oh, please be respectful. I thought I might have to, do that in case someone just went and spoke to me. But it was like, just, everybody just froze. I mean, we had a little announcement saying, like, please pause. But, like, I was still expecting some assholes to be shuffling about. Or like,
someone, like, not from the UK who just, like, doesn't really understand why that was...
Yeah, but everybody, it just went completely silent for a minute. It was just really nice.
I think that's, like, something that... Because we have a minute silence every year, on the 11th of November at 11 a.m, which was when the First World War armistice was signed.
Yeah.
Or was announced, rather, I think, actually, than signed. We have a minute silence to think about war and like, reflect, I guess.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a 2-minute silence, depending, like... But, like, yeah, the minute silence is general. Because that's something that happens every year, I think... And that's, like, what it happens for.
Yeah.
The fact that there was another minute silence dedicated is a big deal, and that people really respect it.
Yeah.
Because, it's, like... I think it's just something that's really pure at heart.
Yeah.
It's not something that's, like, it's not a gimmick.
No.
It's not about propaganda, and it's not about, instilling faith in a government.
No.
I mean, maybe giving a minute silence to Grenfell was because it was a Tory government who are still in power who made the decision.
Fuck the Tories, by the way.
Yeah.
Hashtag opinion.
And the Tory government are the one who decided on the silence. Maybe it was a little bit of a gimmick for them, but, like, at its core, the minute silence, it's just about, like, and you take it your own way. I think there's some people, and, especially when, like, because it happens in high school quite often the 11th of November is school day.
Yeah.
And quite often you'll find, some people won't take it that seriously.
Yeah.
But you'll very rarely find someone who speaks during it.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've met a person or been in school. And I used to be in cadets.
Mm-hmm, so obviously it's a lot bigger deal to you.
Yeah. And we would always be at the square in the city centre on Remembrance Day, and we had the Remembrance Day parade. Mm-hmm. And it was lovely. And, like, after the silence, we were all there for the whole ceremony. The ceremony is lovely. This has nothing to do with the ceremony. Just to put a little bit of light in there. We have to stand at attention for an hour and a half. It's tiring. Yeah. And in the cold, and girls have to wear skirts with thin tights. And I remember one year, a girl that was in front of me, yes, we were standing, and she just fell. And I was like, oh my god! So then I had to go catch her. And I was just, like, standing there, the rest of the squadron at attention, my CO, like, just looking at me, and I have this body in my hands, and I just mouth, help. So then Max comes along and, like, saves the little girl, but I was like, it's so weird, because, like, this is a very important moment, but I just had to save someone from, like, a concussion.
Yeah. Well, it's like, was it for the Queen's, one of her jubilees?
Yeah.
There was like 3 of her guard that fainted or something, because it was a really warm, like a really hot day, and her guard are the ones in the red with the black hats, and that is, like,
super British.
Got to be the hottest outfit. And yeah,
respect to the Royal Guard.
They have to do, like, a similar thing of, like, standing at attention for ages. And
I would, what, I'd hate to be a Royal Guard because of the amount of fucking people that go piss you off and try to make you smile or whatever. They can lose their job for that shit. Especially but my favorite video of all time is when there's this guy and he's, like, trying, like, to make him laugh, and then he touches him, and, like, the guard just, like, flips his rifle and does, like, a whole thing. I was like, do not touch the guard! And he was like, my god, like, so spooked.
Was it not his gun that he went to go touch or something?
I think so,
yeah. So it's like,
you can't touch them. Like, that's just super disrespectful. Would you go up to a random person in the street trying to make them laugh and touch them?
Yeah.
No. So don't do that to the Royal Guard.
Work.
Yeah. Like, and they can get into serious shit. Like,
and I know it seems like a fun thing, but it's like, at the end of the day, they're there to give their life if someone tries to attack the... I mean, that's not the job isn't just to, like, die.
Job description, death.
But, like, it's really serious what they do, and maybe like it doesn't happen
a lot. But if it did, they are there, and they have to be at high alert all the time.
Yeah.
This is the monarchy you're on about, like, here.
Well, it's like, you know, the one time that they relax and they have fun is the time that it happens.
Yeah.
You know, they're not just standing there for the sake of standing there. It's their job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if someone someone came up to me at my work and tried to like mess with me while I was at work, drop kick them.
Oh yeah.
I would tell them to go drown themselves in a river.
I was both a sneeze and a laugh.
I genuinely, like, it's one of my goals. I think if I ever get to the point where, like, I've handed in my notice, oh my god, what I'm going to be like that week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe not, because, like,
no, because that
need a reference.
Yeah.
But, like, I definitely think one of the last things I'll say to anybody is, like, see you complaining about the stupidest little thing.
As soon as I get any power, that's exactly
go drown yourself in a river. But, do you know what? I really like, actually, like, bring it back and away from everything we're talking about. Like, yeah, my manager at work is the best, because anytime I tell him, or like one of my managers, because there's like a million like duty managers and yeah, one of them, he's really good, because so I've always been like, I guess, like, trained to, like, when someone is angry, be nicer to them so that they don't leave a bad review.
Yeah.
But his opinion is like, oh, they've been a cunt to one of my maybe I shouldn't have said that word. Sorry, we say that a lot here. Yeah. I say that a lot.
I've said it like at least 5 times in the podcast that we've did, yeah.
Oh well, anyway. So yeah.
We will have like a wee warning, like, at the beginning, and have
I just said it and I was like, some people have a problem with that word.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Some people have a problem with you, so.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
They have a problem with me too. What I meant is people just have problems. Like,
no, that's not what you meant, and you know it. But anyway, so yeah, he's like, oh, someone's being a cunt to my staff. They get nothing. And I'm like, thank you, Paul. He's like, oh, sorry, did they want extra sauce, but did they throw a hissy fit about it? Take away the sauce they have.
Yes.
He's like, people don't get to be rewarded for being assholes.
Yes. More managers like Paul, please.
Yes. Paul, I love you.
Paul, you sound great.
He's considering leaving. Please don't, Paul. I will cry.
I hate when nice people leave work.
Yes.
Anyway, we're not going to go on that tangent because we don't have time.
No. So, question. Do you have a question, Polina?
Question. Yes, I think I do have a question today. So, my question to all y'all lovely people.
All y'all?
All y'all. That's a Rainoism.
Yeah. Actually, it's not a Rainoism.
Well,
do you not know how he started saying that?
No, how does he start
saying
all y'all?
Okay, this is a little bit of a tangent, but like, so our lecturer says all y'all, but he started saying it because there was a girl in our class who was American, and she said it once in class. She went, she said all y'all, and he found it really funny because it was like the most American thing she ever said.
All y'all.
So he started saying it, and then it was one of those things where he started saying it as a joke, and then just started saying it.
Look at that.
The more you know. Anyway, all y'all. Question.
All y'all, yes. What is the one flirting thing, inverted commas? That's what they are, inverted commas. That's what they're called. Yes, what is the one flirting thing that is the most annoying to you? And, like, most vague? Let us know. And how do you deal with that? Or do you not?
Like us.
Yeah, do you just sit and complain about it for an hour? To people you've never met before?
Story of my life.
Yeah. Thank you for listening and goodbye.